Minisodes.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Ahmani. I am here with another attack of the Minisodes, or potentially something even bigger if we get invaded. But just want to go ahead and dive into a lot of the stuff that we've been missing out on as far as news goes, because we like to keep you guys updated. So, within recent time, I would like to let you guys know of some things that's popped up during like the last week or so. So, be ready for me to rattle off some stuff. So apparently a bunch of stuff for Warhammer got announced. I didn't know that this was gonna happen. I guess there's an event going on, an indie event, if I'm not mistaken. I saw it while looking things up, but I didn't catch the name of it. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. I don't know where it's streaming, so usually we probably stream that, but I have no idea when this. Okay, 6-in-1 Indie. It's a showcase. It's a live stream. Actually, it already happened. Apparently, it was it's an IGN event, according to what I've been able to find. So they announced a bunch of indie games essentially. It was kind of cool though. One of the things that they announced, we had mentioned this before as something to look at because it was funny. But Dino Blade. So I think everybody might remember when we talked about a artist who was doing a bunch of really cool animations with dinosaurs with random weapons. Yeah, at some point we had an update on that, basically saying he decided to make it a game. And now we actually have at least one trailer for Dino Blade, which looks to be his dinosaur sword-wielding fighting game. It looks like it's supposed to be, based on what I'm seeing, more of a PvE experience, like a one-on-one type thing, with it being boss fights that you're facing off against that have different dinosaurs. But I don't know if he has a versus or not going on in it. I'd have to check. We also have Kid Bash, Super Legend, which is, in my opinion, adorable and very much like Mega Man Power Up for those that remember it, the PSP recreation of Mega Man 1. It's that as an art style, except it looks a little bit more almost claymation-esque is the best way I could describe it. It looks cool though. I actually highly recommend it. Just if you're a fan of Mega Man and things of that nature, this would probably be right up your alley. So that's two of them out of the way. We got Dino Blade and Kid Bash. As far as everything else go with the Warhammer stuff that I happened to mention a couple minutes ago, I don't know why they had a big event that just announced 50 different games. But we're gonna do our best to kind of slide through most of them. To be honest, I'm not a super Warhammer fan, but I know that some of these are kind of important to a lot of people, so I can at least mention those, and then the ones that I miss are obviously the ones that I will let those who are more Warhammer fanatics like Aaron or Pele actually talk to you guys about it. But we have Space Marine Siege Mode for Space Marine 2. It's an update that's coming around in June. Let me see. They have a direct update. I think it's June 26th. June 26th, I was right. Okay. So in June 26th, they are basically unleashing what they're calling Siege Mode. It looks like a really cool Horde mode, something that, I'm not gonna lie, the game kind of needed. The funnest bits about it is fighting all those monsters, well, all the aliens and stuff like that come at you anyway. Just fighting in hordes against things, and the fact that levels kind of dealt with that, but there was never a mode that just straight up puts you in the midst of going like, hey, they're just gonna come after you and you guys are just gonna survive wave after wave and see how long you last. It's kind of crazy. Now, I don't know if this is gonna be a matter of surviving wave after wave endlessly, or if it's gonna be multiple challenge events that involve you like surviving different types of waves. You know what I mean? Where they put you up against increasingly designed versions of waves and like the better ways to do it or whatever. But looks cool. It's not coming for a while. It's free though. It's coming in a free update, so you don't have to pay anything for it. So if you own Space Marine 2, that's just coming. So that's awesome as far as I'm considered. Dark Tide is also getting something called the Arbites. Arbites? Arbites. They're getting Arbites class update, so new class. Seems like it's gonna be kind of interesting and kind of fun. Coming with that is probably a couple new levels and some enemies to fight as well. But yeah, straight up new class for that. That looks really cool. Bolt Gun 2 got announced, and also Bolt Gun the original is getting a DLC by the name of, let me see if I can find it, Words of Vengeance. Which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, if you liked Bolt Gun, you're probably gonna enjoy more Bolt Gun, and that's what you're getting. I mentioned Space Marine earlier, obviously. I didn't mention the fact that Space Marine 1 is getting a remake. It's called the Mastercraft Edition, so I guess they're going through and just making it kind of look like Space Marine 2. So that looks really good. Obviously, we're gonna have to jump into that at some point. Most of us have gone back and basically played the first Space Marine before Space Marine 2 came out, so it's a little late to the party, but it is kind of cool to get some people that might have jumped on just for Space Marine 2 to go back and see what happened before. Especially since 3 is on the horizon, since they've already announced that they're making that. So that's gonna be kind of fun. In there, they also announced Speed Freaks and a bunch of other stuff. That's what it is. I finally found it. They had the Skull showcase today, which is kind of crazy to think about. But they had a lot of bits in there. A lot of stuff. They also have something for Vermintide, just in case those that, may not want to be on the 40k side of things. For regular Warhammer, they have Vermintide 2. They have the Vermilion Dreams, which... Verminous Dreams. That's what it's called. Verminous Dreams, or the Well of Dreams. Wow, it has like 4 titles. I'm not kidding. I'm looking at it. It's Warhammer. It's Warhammer. Where is it? Warhammer Vermintide 2. Verminous Dreams, and then the Well of Dreams is the full thing it says here. So Aaron would be losing his mind over that kind of stuff, but looks interesting. For those who are still playing Vermintide, I mean, Vermintide's a good game. It's really fun. I'm surprised they're still supporting it like this. I'm surprised we don't have a Vermintide 3 at this point, I'm gonna be honest with you. But, it's still going strong. This game's old at this point. It's still getting updates. That's crazy. When did Vermintide come out, actually? Let me see. When did Vermintide 2 come out? When did Vermintide 2 come out? 2018, March of 2018. So it's been a minute. Dang. They still supported this game. Man, there are other games that don't get as much support as this. Man, where's my Spider-Man DLC for Spider-Man 2? Damn. I would love to get that kind of support for like that game, or like a bunch of other ones. Like just anything, really. There's a ton of games that I really like. They just don't get that level of support. They also have Supremacy, Warhammer 40k that's also got announced. I don't really know what this one is, actually. Let me take a peek. Just a tad little peek, if I can get through the ads, because we hate this. I get the feeling that it's an announcement trailer. We're probably not going to get gameplay, but we'll see. We'll see. Scroll. I get the feeling that it's a lot of... Is this a cinematic trailer? It's looking pretty cinematic. Yeah, it's looking pretty cinematic. So, this might... It's giving me... Oh, you'll play it for free soon. Huh. Well, it was giving me, hints of, What's the name of the game? Civilization. But, like I said, this is purely a cinematic trailer. But, so, like... There's no gameplay to actually tell you what it's like, but the cinematic trailer gives me hints of that. So that's my best guess. Let me see, actually. One of the things I do like to do in these is that they will put in the description what the game is, even if we don't know. But now I'm less excited. It's a strategy mobile game, so the fact that it's mobile is kind of the thing. And I guess I should have figured the moment I saw it was gonna be free. Yeah, it probably wasn't gonna be for something I would. Well, we'll check it out. I'll look at it because it could actually be something interesting. But it is a strategy game, like I was stating. It's just a little disappointed that it's on mobile, but it might be fun. I never know. I never like to hate on things that are kind of, sort of. I get immediately disappointed when I see mobile because it means that, like, it's gonna have inherent practices in it by default. That being said, you never know. This one could be really cool. I mean, Tenless on Zero was really cool, but obviously it's a gacha. There's, I think, another one coming out that's like, what is it? Like Silver Palace, I believe, or something like that. That looks really cool. And then the moment I found out it was a gacha, I got sad because it looks super in depth with how it is, and it could still be super in depth. But, like, you know, just certain practices get you kind of like, ah, man, like, I was kind of hoping this was a dedicated, like, single player style game so that you can get some really cool stuff out of it, because I feel like a lot of mobile and gacha games that, like, are really, really cool, if they were just regular games, would probably sell really well, just because of the fact that, like, they're diving into something, or at least they look like they would be diving into something that'd be really cool. And instead of the resources that would be used to make that a really, really good single player game is instead being used to make money as a gacha, or like some other, let's say, predatory practices that happen with mobile games. It's a little unfortunate, but to be fair, I don't know what the entire setup with this one is, Supremacy, so maybe it's not that bad. We'll see. We also have the Monster Hunter Street Fighter crossover, so that looks fun. You get a costume for, I believe, Olivia, which is, she gets to be Cammy. She gets to be new Cammy, which is really nice. It looks really good. And then also, Alma gets to be Chun-Li, which is fun to see Chun-Li with glasses. You also, like before, get all your cool emotes. So you get your Hadoukens, your Shoryukens, and your Butsenpukens. So that's gonna be there. Those are gonna be fun. I always like my Street Fighter crossovers, especially with Monster Hunter. The fun part about them is they always do damage. Something that we're catching up on, actually, I'll mention real quick, is Helldivers 2 also has the Heart of Democracy update. So basically, they've pulled up to Super Earth. It's a problem. It's not great. So the Illuminated are finally attacking, and some of you might already be very much aware by the time this podcast comes out that they are pulling up in full force. But I got a chance to play some of that, actually, and it's been really fun. Those who are interested in Helldivers should probably jump back in, especially now. We need you, Helldivers, to get back in there to save Super Earth. But now that they're on Super Earth, it's fun to actually see Super Earth in the first place, and then the way that they're pulling up makes the Illuminate like this really cool threat that's fun to fight in that game. So, by all means, jump on Helldivers 2, check that out. It's obviously a free update, you don't have to pay for anything, the way it is. But big times, big funds on that one. Let's see. We also had some gameplay that actually came out that I wanted to talk about for an indie game that I've been following for a while, known as Gunmetal Gothic, which comes off as a co-op PS1, PS2 style. I'm looking PS2 style looking Resident Evil survival game, except instead of just, it gives, I don't know how to describe this, it gives me like vibes of Resident Evil, and if anybody's ever played like the House of the Dead games, it's a little bit somewhat of those two combined. If you took the gameplay of one, made it more arcadey like the like House of the Dead, and just went at it, basically. It's definitely like Resident Evil 4, or, well, any of the Resident Evils, to be honest. Probably more so 4 onwards, but the remakes exist, so I guess any of them technically count now. But that with an arcade style and PS2 level graphics, it looks really cool. Looks really good. Have total faith in that game. We'll be picking that up. Probably gonna stream that. If I can, I'm getting everybody I can on this game. So we're gonna have fun with that one whenever it comes out. We also have Lost in Starlight, which looks really good. I believe this is an anime movie. I love ads. It makes it so difficult to cover things immediately. There we go. I had to pull this up real quick so I can get the description for you guys. This is coming May 30th on Netflix, and this is when an astronaut leaves Earth for Mars. The vastly infinite space divides star-crossed lovers in this animated romantic cross the cosmos kind of feeling, and it looks gorgeous. So, like, I highly recommend checking that one out. Like, it's like one of those. Okay, so you know how like every so often, an animated movie or an animated film comes out that like kind of shakes people and like has to punch everyone in the gut real quick to remind you that animation is more than just like a kid's thing, because for some reason there's a bunch of people that think that animation is just a kid's thing, but it has to do that. This is, I would probably say that this is gonna be that, where it's gonna come out and punch you in the gut real hard and you're gonna be like, ow, my chest, right? Mature storytelling is a thing. Oh. But for anyone here that's already exists, you already knew this kind of stuff comes out. So like, but this is another one that like, if you want to watch and have your feelings hurt, probably, well, it's probably a feel good ultimately, but like feelings probably are gonna get hurt a little bit because, yeah, seems like a vibe. Honestly, looks, like I said, looks gorgeous. Genuinely looks awesome. We're dealing with space. Who doesn't like space? Let's see what else. We also had we got another look at Onimusha 2, the remake that's coming out soon. So that's looking really nice. That's fun. Persona 5. Yeah, Persona 5 has a mobile game that's coming out that's also really weird and continues the story called Persona 5 X, or the Phantom X, which I'm gonna be honest. Normally I'm like, mobile game, because I just did it. I don't know what they're gonna do to this game, but it looked like the premise story that they got going on, and like a lot of the gameplay stuff that they show in the story trailer. I'm like, man, this is just Persona again. Sort of. I mean, like, it's a continuation, obviously, and there's a completely new team that exists parallel to the original team from 5, which is why I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. I'm at a loss because Persona 5 specifically has a lot of spin-offs that like feel like they should be like continuing the story of like Persona 5. Well, and they do, but like all of them fit in this weird like box where like none of them seem to continue the story with like the characters that should be there. Like, for those that don't know, in the original Persona games, well, in the original Persona 5, there's the base roster. Everyone in all of the spin-offs seems to be with the base roster plus extras, but like there's none from like the Royal, for instance, the one that came out afterwards that is supposed to be the definitive version of the game. But like, I don't think Tactics keeps anybody from Royal. It doesn't keep Sumire, right? It doesn't, like, we're not seeing anybody for I believe From Tactics is pulling up to this either. So, or Strikers, because Strikers doesn't have anybody from that pulling up in either of these. So it's just kind of like, it's a little weird, because all of these adventures happen, but it doesn't involve people who should remain a part of the crew, if that makes any sense. But we'll see how this plays out, because this one's following a completely different group, so we might not run into that problem inherently, but we'll see. We'll just see how that one plays out. But it looks really good, actually. The other thing we have is Mind's Eye, which this one actually has my interest like a lot, because this is a sci-fi game by ex Rockstar developers. So basically, we're getting a look at what happens if they decided to make a sci-fi game over at Rockstar instead of making GTA for like the millionth time, or, well, I say for the millionth time, for literally the 6th time. So that's not really fair to them. GTA for the 6th time and Red Dead for the 2nd. 3rd, technically it'd be the 3rd. They haven't made a 3rd Red Dead yet. I know it sounds like I'm a little bitter with it, but I actually kind of, for their studio to be as big as they are and have unlimited budget, I'm just surprised that they don't come out with more interesting games, like, that really test like the levels of their creativity, considering the fact that like I said, they have infinite time and money to work on these things. But this looks really cool. Mind's Eye just looks like what that would be if they decided to actually go in that direction of making a sci-fi game for once, because, man, that's like something I actually kind of wanted to see from them. We'll get GTA 6 and people will be happy, but you know, it is what it is. But this one looks really cool. I believe the idea of it, let me pull up the premise real quick. I got you guys. Give me a moment. Okay. Action adventure game, third person action adventure game by Builder Rock Boys. Player can check out the open world driving gameplay with some. It's not really telling you what it is. This is launching on June 10th, by the way. I didn't realize this. This is really close to coming out, but I think the first trailer is the only one that shows anything about plot. But I believe it is something to do with like AI and like robots. Essentially, is the whole deal. Like there are like you are in a near future city kind of situation where it's like very modern while still being like, oh yeah, there's future stuff over there. Think Detroit Become Human almost, with the setting and tone seemingly, where you're in the future but not that crazy far into the future. And they're messing around with like robots and AI and things of that nature. It looks really cool. It looks just like it looks like GTA but in a different setting, kind of like how, like you said with Rockstar games, how they play and look when you play like Red Dead or GTA. It's that, but sci-fi. So if that is something that might interest you, I would probably recommend it if you've ever considered that being a possibility for you. Let's see what else we got. We also have, okay, so this one's a weird one. We have Star Resonance, which is also coming out, which looks nice. Star Resonance is the rebooted version of Blue Protocol, which got canceled, which I was really sad about until this game was announced, and I'm kind of happy about. But it also means that the timeline for this is significantly further away than originally entailed, because Blue Protocol initially was in beta and I think had released in Japan at the time, actually, and we were about to get it over here when they canceled the whole project. So yeah, but now they've like re-announced it. I guess they brought back everything from like the day, because essentially a lot of the stuff in Blue Protocol originally wasn't really working out for them. Just some of the way that they did things and microtransactions, things like that, weren't resonating with player bases and stuff like that. And from what I understand, Star Resonance is them essentially pulling a Final Fantasy XIV with it before the game even releases, and making essentially making a brand new game that is taking all the stuff in consideration from those tests and putting it out there. Now, with this being the announcement trailer and it looking almost exactly like Blue Protocol, but with cool stuff going on, the one thing I want to know, which I'm looking, it still is coming out this year, apparently, according to them. According to them, it's still coming out this year. I don't know how that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll be keeping a close eye on it, because there's not a ton left. I mean, like, there's the later half of the year, obviously. I'm just wondering how they're going to pull this together within the time of, like, the rest of the year. Or how much time they ever actually have until they actually release this. I'm assuming this is coming out sometime in December at the very least. So December, November, just to give them time to finish up. But like, if it appears any sooner than that, I mean, I'd be surprised. Let's see, what else we got? We got Bad Guys 2, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for it. I don't want to look at the trailer because I don't want to get... This is the trailer 2, so I don't want to look at this one because I kind of don't want to know. I watched the original Bad Guys knowing very little about it, and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of want to do the same thing with this one. Now, for the last thing we have here, we have the Marvel Rivals Ultron reveal, which I'm going to say right now, I'm not watching. I'm going to stream this in a little bit. So by the time this podcast back goes up, I would have already streamed it. But I'll go into a proper breakdown. Now, we've gone over his leak list before, so I'll just talk about a little bit of what he might be based on that and what it actually looks like. But I know that my guess is that he's going to be very drone, well, I say guess based on what the leaks as well. We know he's going to be using drones in order to heal people and like buff allies. So I guess that when I'm looking at it, that means that it frees him up to actually be a DPS in a lot of cases, which I think is interesting. So we're going to have a robot who can fire on, I believe like his main attack was a laser. So I don't know if his laser is going to heal or not. I'm pretty sure it's not. He's going to be firing on opponents while also giving a drone to help people out. And that makes it a lot easier for him to do things because his healing is not focused on him constantly paying attention to somebody, if that makes any sense. And I think that's going to be kind of fun. He can just give out healing when needed, and then most of the time he's going to be locked in on trying to help out deal with other things. As long as he can throw a drone to you, it'll be set. I believe it's similar to like Zenyatta, so like the drone he sends will be on you, and then he'll have to switch it accordingly. So he'll be a good off healer, like a healer DPS. I keep saying healer. Healer's not exactly what they are. Support DPS, because that matters. For those who are playing Rivals and don't understand, support means that you can do a lot of different things besides just heal. Like, people forget about that. And I'm not saying that the healers don't do their job, but I think like a lot of DPS mains out there really don't understand how other characters play, and I don't know why that is. And I say that as a person that like hops around. Like, I genuinely play around the team, so I don't know why so many DPSs are always complaining about like healers and I mean, you can complain about healers if they're bad, right? But like, always complaining about healers in general when it's like, hey man, have you like tried? Like, just complain. I don't know. But based on what we got with Ultron, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I like the idea of him throwing out drones, much like Zenyatta. He's got two. I think one's more of like an attack one, one's more of helping out. His ult, from the sounds of it, sounds like something straight out of Marvel vs. Capcom, where he gets like his Ultron bots to pull up and do some cool shit, so that kind of sounds fun. An interesting pick for the first, well, not the first villain, but like the biggest villain to pop up so far, because everyone else has been kind of like anti-hero, like kind of on the, this is the first true villain we have on the team. Because Venom, anti-hero, Loki, anti-hero. Now, Loki's an anti-hero. I want to preface that. Loki, for the longest time, was not an anti-hero. Now he's an anti-hero. I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, there's an argument you could say that currently in the MCU, Wanda's a villain, but she's, by default, usually a hero. And I'm trying to think of who else. We also heard another possible leak that the next one coming might be Armor? Might be getting Armor or Jubilee. Seems to be the two that like everyone seems to be leaning towards. I hope it's both. I'm gonna be honest, I hope it's both. I love both Armor and Jubilee, so I'll take both of them. But we do know that both of them are in the game files, and I know that a lot of stuff in Krakoa are hinting at well, there's top three candidates that might be are Jubilee, Jean Grey, and Armor. It seems like there's a lot of stuff ramping up that Armor might be the next one, and there's also a lot of evidence pushing that like Jubilee will be coming soon. Jean Grey has obviously been mentioned, and Forge has been mentioned. I believe Forge and Jean Grey have been found somewhere moving around in the source code for everything, so we might see them soon. I want my boy Nightcrawler. I don't know where we're gonna get my boy Nightcrawler, but I'm gonna have a lot of fun with both Jubilee and Armor if they pop up soon, because I love both those characters. So we'll see. Either way, I get a character that I get to play, because Armor is gonna be a tank and I play Vanguard, and Jubilee might also be a tank. She might be a Vanguard, from what they're talking about, but I've heard based on stuff she could be a really cool Vanguard. She also might be a DPS. She might be a duelist, and if she's a duelist, I get an extra duelist to play. Yay! So that's gonna be fun. It's the best part about being a Marvel fan that doesn't just, knows how to be like, hey man, I like a lot of characters, I'm gonna play all of them, so I'll just learn every role. But we'll see how this plays out. That's gonna be kind of fun to mess around with and see. I'm gonna stream the reaction to Ultron in a bit. By the time this goes up, you guys can go check it out either on the YouTube channel or at Twitch itself. So be sure to go over there and check it out to be sure. But with that, I think that's gonna be it, guys. So I will catch you guys later. There's nothing else to really go through. Just know that as far as the update goes, Pele is going to be playing Expedition 33 still on the channel. He's actually might be streaming it more often because, as we've discussed, it's a long game and it's going to take him a minute to get through that one if he just keeps doing it one day a week. So just for the sake of his sanity and so that he doesn't get spoiled on the game, we're going to be having him play it more often. I will be attempting to stream later today, but you'll see probably later, or Wednesday is usually when I stream. we're trying to see what we're gonna do. See to get Aaron to stream a little bit more. But I usually stream on Wednesdays. If not, I'll stream on Thursdays. But usually within those days, I'll stream. Pele's Day tends to be Tuesday, but he's probably gonna be streaming also on Wednesdays as well because expedition. We'll see what other days he'll be popping up on just to see. You might get a lot of random encounters of him just playing it randomly because, yeah, it's a long game. Besides that, I know the next thing I'm debating on 2 different games to go into after this upcoming bit. I know I want to do Hellblade 2 and I want to do Captain Blood, so we'll be seeing how that fares. Also was playing like 100 Lives, so that one's fun. I don't think I'll be streaming that one. That one's a really good one though, but like the way Danganronpa games work, I don't know if I'll be streaming that. Danganronpa style games, it's not exactly Danganronpa, it's more of a tactical RPG with Danganronpa's entire aesthetic implanted onto it, but that's neither here nor there. I'll check that one out too if you haven't gotten a chance. But without further ado, I will see you all later. Do the things that we usually tell you to do. In fact, I'll just go down the list because I have time. It's not like I'm getting pressed. Hey, so, we have emails that, you guys can send us stuff to. If you send us stuff at paperplayaction@gmail.com, we can answer it on the podcast because we like to do that. We like to answer questions that you might have for us or might want to ask us about certain things or our opinions on stuff that maybe we just haven't talked about on here. There's a lot of stuff that we've kind of glossed over for the sake of, just time and things of that nature. So if there's anything you want us to dive into or do something like that again, you can always do that. It's totally fine. Just ask us and we'll do it. If you don't have any questions or things like that you want to send in, you can always follow us on the social medias, the variety. So we have the Bluesky, we have the X, the app formerly known as Twitter. We have the Threads. I think that's everything. We have Instagram and stuff like that. So you can follow us on all of those. And we will gladly, follow you back, talk to you if you want to do stuff. But it's mainly there to keep you updated on stuff like when we're doing streams and when a new episode's coming out. And if an episode's delayed, things of that nature. So we'll let you know there. We'll just tell you and it's all good. The other thing we like to do is to just have a little way we like to slide and tell you to just go to our Patreon or our coffee down below. You can leave a little tip on that little tip jar for coffee, or you can go to Patreon and subscribe for us, which is like $1, just $1 per month, I believe it is how it is. And that'll motivate us, give us the ability to, kind of get some stuff going and make sure that things are right. If we get successful enough, we don't have to worry about me editing everything all the time. We could just get someone else to edit it, and all we have to do is record. Which would be better overall for everyone's experience if we got a professional doing it, but then again, I try my best to do what I can. That being said, that's always a thing, so you can always just send that down there if you would like. By all means, don't feel obligated. It's not an obligation. It's always just a, hey, look, it's there if you want to do it. And the number one thing is to spread the love, regardless of everything else that I just said. Spread the love, talk to people, let people know about the show, tell people about it, and that's how it spreads. That's how it gets to know people. That's how you get to talk to more people about the show that we do. You get to talk to us about the show that we do. We get to go to places and do cool things with you guys because more people know about the show. Also, it helps us get access to stuff that, we can cover more things and maybe potentially do events and stuff like that. The more people that know, it actually helps us a lot with trying to, get things off the ground. As far as, different projects we want to do and things of that nature. It's just, it's networking, basically. Well, that sort of, kind of. But, by all means, let people know. Because you get to enjoy the thing with other people. You get to talk about it, have fun. And we get to enjoy the fact that you're enjoying it along with other people. So that's actually the number one reason we would want you to do it. Now, at this point, I've done my thing that I'm supposed to do at the end of podcasts, which is basically rambling. So, without further ado, we will all catch you later. Peace.